Today, we're diving into something called the inner architecture of senescence. Now, that's a fancy title, but what it's really about is aging. And more than that, it's about how we kind of rebuild ourselves from the inside out as time goes on.
So let me start by asking you something. Just think about it for a second. When did you first notice that life was, changing you? Was it a specific moment? A word someone used? Maybe you caught a glimpse of yourself in a reflection and thought, things are different. Just hold on to that thought. Okay, so the official, super technical word for this whole thing is senescence. It sounds so clinical, right? Like something out of a biology textbook. All it really means is the state of being old or the process of becoming old. But today, we're going to look way past that dry definition and get into what it actually feels like. Because this process, it's not just about what we lose. It's really about what gets transformed. And this quote from our source material just captures it perfectly. Time doesn't steal our shine. It just changes the angle of the light. I mean, that is such a powerful way to reframe it, isn't it? We're so conditioned to see time as this thing that takes something away from us. Our youth, our energy, whatever. But what if it's actually a creative force? What if what looks like loss is really just depth showing up? Or wisdom? The glow is still there, It's just lighting up different parts of who we are now. So how does this big, abstract idea actually show up in our day-to-day lives? Well, a lot of the time, it starts with something really small, almost insignificant, a turning point that can begin with just a simple word.
For the person in the story we're looking at, it was this. The moment people, strangers, younger people, started calling them sir. It's such a common thing, right? A sign of respect. But for them, it was a signal, a sign that the world was seeing them differently now. And that, in turn, made them see themselves differently. And that little signal from the outside world sparked this really profound realization on the inside. They described it with this beautiful metaphor of a spinning dreidel. It's this sudden feeling of personal responsibility, of a unique purpose. It's that massive shift from looking outward and asking, what do they think of me, to looking inward and saying, what do I need to do? But let's be real, a realization like that doesn't come easy. It's not like a switch just flips. It almost always kicks off a huge inner conflict, this fundamental tug of war between two totally different ways of living your life. And you can see that conflict laid out so clearly here. On one side, you have the external path. You know this one. It's what we're all taught. Be practical. Find things that have external value, money, status, you name it. But for the author, the result of that path was just feeling totally empty inside. Then on the other side, there's the internal path. Find what you genuinely, intrinsically like, and do it for its own sake. The outcome? Even if nothing of external value comes from it, you can still say, I can still be happy that I did. So what do? You have to make a choice. You have to decide to step off that well-paved, predictable road and start forging your own uncertain path. A path where you don't know the destination, but the journey just feels right. And oh man, that choice is terrifying. It is absolutely filled with doubt. That voice in your head, the one that's been trained for years to be practical, it starts whispering, or maybe even shouting, I may be setting myself up for another failure. But then, another voice shows up. It's a little quieter, maybe a little more self-assured, and it says something that is just incredibly powerful in its simplicity. But that's okay. This right here, this is the key. It's about completely reframing what failure even is. It's a commitment not to success, but to the search. I will set myself to the biggest failure because I will prepare the best I can to find something more interesting. Failure isn't the end point to be scared of anymore. It's just a byproduct of living a more interesting life.
And this whole journey, it doesn't end with some loud party or a big celebration. It ends with a quiet sunrise. It's that new angle of light, just like that quote said at the very beginning. The source material leaves us with this simple, powerful image. A person tying their shoes, slowly, deliberately, as the sun comes up. There's no rush. There's just purpose in a small, everyday act. Those long, calm shadows, they just suggest peace and acceptance of where you are. It's the feeling of a life being lived on your own terms.
And so we end by turning that beautiful metaphor back to you. In your life, with your unique experiences, your passions, what is the thing that you and only you must do, just for its own sake? What is the dreidel that only you can keep spinning?